Hello Fish Addicts, this is Eric. Today I'm going to go over gravel versus sand. This is a big one that comes up all the time. Everybody has their own personal preferences. Here's some of the advantages, disadvantages that I go with both of them. Gravel is probably the most common substrate out there used. You can get a lot of varieties, a lot of colors, a lot of different sized pebble to stones. And then you got sand. Obviously sand comes in a lot of different varieties. Um, I personally like gravel a little more than sand for a couple reasons. I find when I'm gravel cleaning, I find it's easier to get the debris up. When you use sand, the issues I don't like about sand personally is that sand can compact really, really heavily depending on the coarseness of the sand. Advantage of sand is a lot of the crap or dirt will stay on top of it, so you can visually see it easier, so you can just skim along the top to suck it in. Another problem, if you're going with sand, be careful if it gets blown up, because if you're running any kind of a power filter, if this thing gets sucked up into the intake, it can ruin your motors. Now you're replacing impellers, which can cost you a lot of money. For plants, as long as not too compacted, plants will grow pretty well in either or. So another disadvantage to sand with the compaction is, with sand you got to make sure every now and then you get in there and you stir that up, because if it compacts too tightly, the lack of oxygen will cause you with methane gas, hydrogen sulfide, which are both deadly toxic in a tank. With certain types of fish, however, love sands, like the geophag, the cichlids are sand sifters. A lot of those guys, even some of the cories and loaches, will love to dig through sand and blow it through the gills. It's just part of their feeding habits. Another thing is, either gravel or sands, you have to be careful if it's inert, or it'll affect your pH or hardness of your water. Different sands and gravels will have different effects depending on the maker, the maker of the sand or gravel, and the type it is. Some sands and gravels can be quite sharp, so be very careful on the really sharp edge ones, especially if you got quarries with their small barbels. They can get cut off and damaged. But apart from that, there's really no wrong or right. It's just kind of what you really. Some people do a combo, and if you're going to mix sand and gravel together, a lot of times you're going to find, especially as you're gravel cleaning and whatnot, the gravels will come to the surface and the sand will go down below. The larger stuff always comes to the top. So you know what, that's about it for sand and gravels. There is no right or wrong here. It's kind of what you really enjoy. Just be careful, like I said, if you are using sands, it doesn't get sucked up in those power filters, because it will ruin motors, and that's just going to cost you money. Anyway, this is Eric, and you have a great day. Like, subscribe, and comment, and I'll see you tomorrow.